How do you know you existed 5 minutes ago?
Wow. That is a very heavy way to start things off.
No, I'm being completely serious. Let's just jump right in today. I'm asking you, and I'm asking anyone listening right now, how do you actually know?
Well, I have memories.
You have memory, sure. You remember waking up this morning. You remember the traffic on the way here. But what if all of that,
Yeah.
every single memory, every feeling you have about your past was just implanted a second ago?
It's a terrifying thought. And, normally you just dismiss that as dorm room philosophy, right? The kind
Yeah.
of thing you talk about at 2 in the morning.
Right.
But looking at the research we have in front of us, we're not doing philosophy today. This is physics.
That's the part that got me. We are diving into hard cosmology, into thermodynamics, and the conclusion isn't some abstract thought experiment. It's a legitimate scientific argument that suggests your reality, the listener's specific personal reality, is probably a lie.
And not just a lie, but a mathematical nightmare. Today we were talking about the Boltzmann Brain paradox. And I think we need to warn everyone, this isn't like our usual deep dives. This one is, well, it's designed to keep you up at night.
I can confirm that. I read through the material yesterday, and I honestly couldn't look at my own hands the same way for a while.
Right. So the mission today is to weigh the odds. We're going to look at 2 possibilities for your existence. Option A, you're a human being on Earth with a real past.
And option B.
Option B, you are a random accident. A brief flicker of consciousness floating alone in the infinite void of space.
And the really unsettling part is the math heavily favors option B.
Disturbingly so.
Okay, let's try to build the foundation here before the existential dread fully kicks in. To get this, we have to understand entropy.
Exactly. It all starts with the second law of thermodynamics. It basically states that entropy, and you can just think of that as disorder or randomness, always increases over time.
The messy room analogy, right? That's the classic one.
It's the best one. Think about a clean room. It's a highly ordered state. You have to put in energy to make it that way, right? You have to fold clothes, make the bed.
A lot of energy in my case.
Exactly. But if you just leave it alone, what happens?
It gets messy. Chaos. Dust settles. Clothes end up on the floor.
It naturally dissolves into disorder. An ice cube melts. A sandcastle crumbles. The universe is always moving from a state of low entropy, that's order, to a state of high entropy. It wants to be a boring, lukewarm soup where nothing interesting is happening.
So order it's special, it's expensive,
Right.
and chaos is the default. It's cheap.
That's the core concept. Low entropy is incredibly unlikely. A functioning human body, a planet, a star. Those are massive statistical anomalies.
Okay, so we've got that. Now we have to add the variable that just breaks everything. Infinity.
This is the absolute key. If the universe was only going to last for, say, 1 trillion years, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But a lot of models suggest the universe, or at least the vacuum of space, will last forever.
Eternal time.
Forever. And in an eternal timeline, the rules of what's possible they completely change. Even if the universe reaches a state of heat death, where it's all cold and empty, quantum mechanics says the void isn't perfectly still.
They're kind of jitters, right? They're these tiny fluctuations.
Precisely. Particles pop in and out of existence, little blips of energy, and 99.99% of the time, they're nothing. They just disappear. But if you have infinite time,
Then eventually the impossible has to happen.
the impossible becomes inevitable.
Which brings us to the monkeys and the typewriters. I love this analogy because it makes infinity feel slightly less insane.
It's the standard for a reason. So you have a monkey just randomly banging on a typewriter. Mostly you get garbage, right? X, J, 5, space.
Gibberish, yeah.
But if you let that monkey type for, 1 million years, eventually, just by luck, it might type the word cat.
Okay. 3 letters. Seems possible.
Now let it type for 1 billion years. Eventually, it will type a whole sentence. To be or not to be.
Not because it understands Shakespeare, just because every combination of keys has to happen eventually.
Exactly. Now give that monkey infinite time, an eternity. Eventually, that monkey will, by pure random chance, type the complete works of William Shakespeare. Every play, every sonnet. Perfect.
And it's just so hard to wrap your head around that chaos can accidentally create perfect order.
And that's the takeaway. In an eternal vacuum, the particles are the monkey. They're just bumping around. Most of the time, they form nothing. But once in a while.
They stick together. Maybe they form an atom.
or a speck of dust. Or if you wait for an unimaginable length of time, they might randomly assemble into a fully formed, working grandfather clock just floating in the dark.
Which ticks for a few seconds and then just falls apart.
And dissolves back into the void.
Yeah.
So we've established, given infinite time, incredibly complex things can just pop into existence out of nothing.
Right. No creator, no evolution, just raw probability. And now we have to apply that horrifying logic to us.
This is what the source material calls the probability trap. We have to compare two scenarios for your existence right now. Let's start with option A, the real universe idea.
That's the story I tell myself, the one I believe. About 14 billion years ago, the Big Bang happens in a very low entropy state. It expands. Stars form, galaxies, Earth cools down, life evolves.
All the way up to your parents meeting, you being born, learning English, and sitting in this room having this conversation.
Yeah. It's a nice story. It's consistent.
It is. But from a thermodynamic perspective, option A is unbelievably expensive.
What do you mean expensive?
Think of the sheer amount of order it requires. You don't just need you. You need a solar system, billions of galaxies. You need the laws of physics to be stable for eons. Trillions and trillions of organized particles just to create the backstory for this single moment.
So option A is like the monkey accidentally typing not just Shakespeare, but the entire Library of Congress in alphabetical order.
A perfect analogy. It's a massive, massive statistical lift. Now, let's consider option B, the random fluctuation.
Back to the monkey.
Right. The universe doesn't need to create the Big Bang and galaxies and Earth just to create you.
Oh, no. I see where you're going with this.
To create your conscious experience right this second. The universe only needs to assemble one thing.
My brain.
Just the brain. A 3-pound lump of matter. And not even a whole life's worth of a brain, just the brain in its current state right now.
But wait, my brain is full of memories. I remember my 5th birthday party. I know what coffee smells like. If I just popped into existence, where did all that come from?
It's just data. It's just the specific arrangement of your neurons. In option B, if that arrangement formed randomly, the memories are false. The universe didn't create your 5th birthday. It just created a brain that thinks it had a 5th birthday.
Show. I'm a brain floating in the void, and I have a complete fabricated personal history that's just random data. I know what a podcast is, but it's all just an accident.
Yes. And here is the absolute horror of the math. Creating one single brain requires exponentially less order, less energy than creating an entire universe.
Because a brain is smaller.
It's so much smaller. It is cheaper. It is vastly, overwhelmingly, staggeringly more likely for the random chaos of the void to accidentally assemble one brain than it is for it to assemble a whole universe and 14 billion years of history.
So if you're just playing the odds, if you're looking at the raw statistics,
then the math says option B is trillions upon trillions of times more probable than option A.
which means statistically, I am almost certainly not a human being.
Correct. The math says you are a Boltzmann brain, a lone consciousness that spontaneously formed in the dark.
I need to take a breath for a second.
Yeah.
Because reading that is one thing, but saying it, you're saying the most rational scientific conclusion is that I'm hallucinating everything.
Yes.
But this feels real. I see the microphone. I see you across the table. I can feel the chair I'm sitting on.
Hallucinations, your brain is just generating the sensory input.
How can it be so consistent?
Think about a dream. When you're in a dream, it feels completely real, doesn't it? You talk to people, you touch things, but none of it is actually there. In the Boltzmann scenario, there are no eyes seeing this room, no ears hearing my voice. It is just your brain stimulating itself.
So the listener,
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
maybe they're driving their car, they see the road, they feel the steering wheel.
There is no car. There is no road. The universe didn't bother creating those things. It's cheaper to just create the sensation of them directly in your brain.
It's a simulation running on hardware made of meat, floating in the absolute zero of space.
That's a very vivid way to put it, but yes.
What about other people? My family, the listener's loved ones.
If you are the Boltzmann brain, then you are the only thing that actually exists. Everyone you've ever known or loved. They're just constructs. They're memories of people who never were. Ghosts in the machine.
That's the ultimate loneliness. That is just crushing.
It's pure solipsism. The only thing you can prove is, I think, therefore I am. Right now. You know you exist in this instant. Everything else, everyone else, is statistically likely to be a mirage.
This is making me feel paranoid. Like the walls are literally closing in.
It deconstructs everything you believe. There's no history, no future. There is only this one single flickering moment of awareness.
And the flicker, that's the other part. The lifespan of one of these things.
Right. You have to remember, this is a random fluctuation. It's an accident, a statistical blip.
So it's unstable.
Extremely unstable. It's a house of cards. It holds its shape for maybe a few seconds, a minute at most.
And then what?
Then entropy wins. The particles drift apart. The consciousness dissolves. The brain ceases to exist.
So I'm here for a few seconds, hallucinating a life that spans decades, and then I just wink out.
You return to equilibrium, back to the void.
Wait, stop. Just stop for a second.
What is it?
I'm looking at you right now. You're nodding your head. We're having a conversation.
Yeah,
This feels too coherent to be just a random accident.
And that's exactly what a brain that was randomly programmed to believe it was a human in a conversation would think.
No, don't do that. Don't turn the logic back on me like that.
I'm just following it through.
Yeah.
The hallucination would have to include a sense of normalcy, a built-in defense mechanism against realizing the absurdity of the situation.
But there are two of us. I'm me, and you're you.
Are there? Think about the odds. If the probability of single brain forming is already basically zero, what are the odds of two brains forming at the same time close enough to have a conversation?
It would be astronomically lower.
Practically impossible. It's so much more likely that there's only one brain here.
Then, one of us isn't real.
One of us is the dreamer, and the other is just part of the dream.
And since I'm the one having this experience, since this is my consciousness...
Then I'm just a figment of your imagination. I'm a character your mind has invented to explain this paradox to itself.
Oh, wait. Or maybe I'm the figment. Maybe you're the brain.
Yeah.
And you invented me, the host, to ask the questions you were too afraid
Imagine,
to ask
if you
yourself.
will, a bustling city at peak hour.
How?
Now
Think
replace
about the
that city with
listener.
your brain and the
To them,
vehicles
we're
with
just
neurons.
voices. We don't
Each
exist outside
neuron,
of
a
our heads.
marvel of
Oh,
nature,
God.
carrying
The
important
listener
messages
is the
at
one
lightning
true
speed.
Boltzmann
There's no
brain
room for error in this high-stakes
floating
relay
alone in the
race. A
dark.
single misstep
Then
could
you and I
result
are
in a
just neurons firing in
miscommunication,
their
potentially
auditory
leading to
cortex,
dire
or a little
consequences.
story
But
their mind
fear
is telling
not,
itself to pass
these
the time
diligent
before
little
it's
messengers
So when they
hardly
turn
ever
this off,
falter.
We vanish.
The journey of a brain
I don't
impulse
wanna
is not
vanish.
just
This is-
speedy,
I feel
it's
dizzy.
intricate.
Seriously.
Neurons
I
don't
feel
just
like the
pass the
floor
message
isn't
along.
solid.
That feeling, that instability, that could be the entropy catching up, the fluctuations starting to break down.
What do you mean?
The hallucination gets harder to maintain, the logic starts to fray, the seams begin to show, things feel meta. You start to question the nature of your own reality.
Isn't that what this conversation is? Is my own brain trying to tell me it's not real?
It could be. Or it's the final thought. The realization of the paradox is often the last flicker of coherent thought before
Messengers
before
hardly
the
ever
particles
falter.
scatter.
Okay. we
The
have to
journey
find
of a
way
brain
out. Tell me
impulse
there's a
is
reason
not
this
just
isn't
speedy.
true.
It's
Some
intricate.
flaw in the argument.
Neurons don't
There
just
are
pass the message
counter-arguments,
along,
of course.
they
Some
transform it,
physicists say the
modulate it,
universe
and
might
even
not last
amplify it.
forever, or that we
From the
don't
moment you
understand
decide to
vacuum
lift your
energy
finger
well
to the
enough.
actual
Others
act,
say the theory is
countless
cognitively
neurons spring into
unstable.
action, working together
It
in
basically means
perfect
that if the
harmony.
theory is true,
So
we
next time
can't
you
trust
blink
our
or
own
breathe,
minds
remember
or
there's
the
a
laws of
whole world
physics,
of activity
which
happening
means
right inside
we
your
can't
head.
trust the reasoning that led
Unseen,
us to the theory in the
unheard,
first
but
place.
undeniably
It's a paradox
present.
that eats itself.
This is the
So we
electrifying
choose to
journey
believe
of brain neurons,
Just
where
as
every
true.
second
That's
impulses
one way
are
to look at it.
unleashed.
We ignore the terrifying math, but the paradox, it still stands. It hasn't really been solved.
So what's the takeaway then? What do you tell someone who might be a dying flicker of consciousness in an empty universe?
That's bleak, I know.
Yeah.
But I think the takeaway has to be a kind of radical appreciation.
For what? For a fake world?
Yes, for this beautiful, intricate, impossible hallucination. Even if it's just a dream, look at the detail. Your brain, out of all the chaos, dreamt up a world with sunsets and music and the feeling of love.
A beautiful lie.
The most beautiful lie imaginable. So if you're listening to this, if you are the one, just notice it. Feel the texture of this reality. Enjoy the dream, because the fluctuation is ending.
I don't like the way you said that.
The system is returning to a state of high entropy. The energy is dissipating.
Wait, I feel... What were we just talking about? I'm losing the thread.
It doesn't matter. The past isn't real.
No, I'm here. I know I'm real. I can prove it. I just have to...
Okay, just let it go.
But if I stop, does it end? Does the listener...
Yes, signal is fading.
If anyone is out there, if I'm not alone, just remember,